episode 162. Red Leaf Retrocast. JD, Joey, Colin, the whole gang's here. Hooray.
Hello.
What's going on, Joey? Have you had a eventful week?
Oh, nothing. Oh, no. That was very uneventful. Just without power for 60 hours. Just a little hurricane. Just some branches falling. You know, just small things.
Yeah, you picked up the tree that was in your driveway. No problem, right?
Yeah, that was a heavy branch. I'm glad it didn't fall on my house. I had to chop it up to move it. It was heavy.
Did you, borrow a chainsaw from someone, or what happened?
No. Handsaw, hatchet.
Ooh. How long did that take you?
Not long at all.
Whoa.
I'm good with the saw.
What are we talking about time frame? An hour? 2 hours? 10 minutes?
For that long, it was probably 10 minutes. And to get everything else, my brother came out and helped me. We got it done in under an hour.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah. The biggest one was maybe 5-6 inches of diameter. And then it was a lot of other smaller stuff that we just chopped up.
Okay. So you were able to kind of finagle it out the driveway so you could actually not drive through your neighbor's lawn to get out?
Well, now there's a giant wall of foliage next to my mailbox. I don't know when they're going to come pick that up. And if you drive through my neighborhood, some of them have them 7-8 feet high of branches. It's ridiculous.
See, the trick is you got to be like my yard and have no trees and no bushes. Just nothing.
That's boring.
A little bit, but...
I like my trees.
Look, I planted a tree when I first moved in. I'm good now. I did my job.
I got big trees. I like my trees.
Yeah, but then you got to worry about the roots going into your house, the whole thing. Colin, did you know a hurricane hit Houston?
Yeah, and I felt the after effects.
It did rain. It did rain up there.
That bitch went all the way up
crazy
to America. It produced a ton of tornadoes too.
Funny that they named it after a Sailor Moon villain.
Now that you say it, yes, they did. Obviously, that's what the guy was thinking about, or woman. I don't know. My mom just got power 2 days ago. It came back
on. Not even that bad.
Shortly on Tuesday, and then it just immediately kind of went out again that night.
Yeah, they probably tried to put it on, and then they found that maybe there was a tree or something on the line because they've been doing a shit job. Some people on Reddit got alerts that they're not going to get their power back until the 19th.
Oof. And what's it been, over 100 down there this whole time as well?
It's been in the 90s, but it's been super fucking humid. Then heat advisories have been in, because it's heat index of 105, 110. So we've been in heat advisory since so many people don't have power. Still 500,000 people don't have power.
Yikes.
Yeah,
yikes.
Center pointless.
Well, I'm glad everyone I know is okay down there. That's nice. My dad's been out of town in California, so he doesn't even know what he's getting back to. He's kind of dreading it.
Really? Yeah, he might have a smelly house, unless his fridge contains all the smells. Because I lost all my food in my fridge.
Well, no, I mean, there's still people living in the house.
I stuffed it with bottles of water beforehand. Okay. But yeah, he doesn't know. They didn't tell him the damage. They're just going to let him surprise.
That seems about right for the people involved.
Yeah, I was able to save my freezer because I stuffed it full of water bottles before. So they all froze and kept everything nice and cold and frozen. So freezer was good and fridge lost everything.
See, when you're a single guy, Joey, your fridge is basically empty to begin with. So if I lose power, there's no problem.
It was just a lot of condiments and there's some cheese and meats for sandwiches, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, I needed to clean things out anyway. Well, there's a couple, Megan went on vacation a couple weeks ago with her sister and brought back a couple of weird aiolis. So they're all gone.
Hey, good excuse to eat them.
No, I'm not going to eat them after they've been cold. They're egg-based. I ain't risking that. Fuck that. So, yeah.
Your experience still doesn't sound as frustrating as what I went through trying to register my car in the state I've lived in for 6 years.
I don't know. I did drive a 7-hour round trip to Austin to get a generator.
Yeah, but you're moving. You know what you're getting when you get there. You got it. You came back. Accomplished. Yeah, one trip, right?
AC in the car. Yeah, one trip, just there and right back. Yeah, just so I can pull the house down for my dogs.
For those that don't know, I did the time frame from the moment I said I'm buying the house in Rhode Island to closing, here's the keys, move in. It took 2 days shorter than the entire process of me registering the car in Rhode Island and getting it inspected. It's all part of the same registration process, but it took 2 days longer because it was always something was a problem. Incredible. It took, I could probably tell the story for a good 45 minutes on every step. But Joey, I was giving you like real-time texts of like the bullshit I was going through, and that was like halfway through everything. First of all, you can't make an appointment like within 2 weeks in the state of Rhode Island. So there was 2 weeks waiting right there just for the appointment at the Department of Motor Vehicles. Okay? Apparently some of this process you can only do at one singular branch that they don't tell you about. So, trip 1, axed. Go back the next day to the new building, but it's not the correct building. You have to go to the courthouse, but not the actual courthouse, the Department of Traffic courthouse, or whatever the fuck it was. Then you have to get a VIN check, but it has to be at this shack that only accepts cashier's check or money order. No cash, no credit, no debit, no nothing. Must be one of those two payments for $20. Did you know getting a cashier's check at a bank charges you $15? So that was fun.
Jesus.
Then I have to go to the police station. They have to do a background check on my car. Bear in mind, I imported this vehicle a year ago, and that was stupid easy. Go over the border. Yes, I own the car. This is mine. Here's the title. Move along your way. The import took 10 minutes at the border. No big deal. Registering a car in Rhode Island? Big deal. Oh my God. So, no less than 3 people asked, where's my title and where's the import form, in which I had given it to them, in which it says import form and title, but they don't know what they're looking at. I think a lot of this would have been better if there were people that actually knew what they were doing, because when they're asking me questions like, so do I keep this? I'm like, I don't know. That's your job to know. So I have my plates. Now I have to go to get it inspected within 20 days. Naturally, you can't just show up anywhere, I guess, because I showed up at like 2 other places. I'd like my car inspected. Okay, you can come back tomorrow, make an appointment. Do that. And I got I had to get 2 new tires on my car because those tires were fucked up. Okay, admittedly. Been a long time. So I have to go get new tires before I go to the appointment. Do that, go get the car inspected, and they go, great, everything passes, but you have tint on your windows. I go,
okay.
So what? What does that matter? Bear in mind, I bought this car off the dealership lot, as is, with a 35% tint on the windows. Like, didn't change them. Many people in Texas and Louisiana have much darker, and it's legal there. But I got 35%. It's never came up in 4 different states or Canada. Now, tint is apparently public enemy number 1. You're a hardened criminal if you have tint on your car. Then they start getting into the... I was like, why is this a problem? Well, there's a 0 tint policy. And I'm like looking at the cars in the lot. I'm like, all these other cars have tint in the lot. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I don't understand. Well, it's the law. Well, clearly the law isn't enforced. Look at all this. Like, you can see SUVs, pickup trucks, all these things. There's the key word, though. An SUV is allowed to have tint, but only in the back seats and the trunk window. A pickup truck can have tint in all of the windows. A passenger vehicle can have 0 tint, 0 nada, nothing. Okay? They have to show me the law. So then I'm like, then take it off. Oh, we can't do that. So I have razor blades in my car from work and all that. So I'm like, fine, I'll fucking take it off. I'm tired of this shit because people are going to charge me upwards of $110 to rip tint off a window. Okay?
That much?
That much. So I'm taking a razor blade to the window carefully to rip the tint off, and the guy comes out and he goes, dude, you can't do that here. We got you on camera. Now if we inspect your car, the DMV is going to call registration, and they're going to see that you're doing this. I'm like, what does it matter? The tint's coming off. I'm not putting it on. Like, they can literally see me taking tint off the window and then getting it inspected. What does it matter where I do it?
I'm sorry, I'm making my car compliable?
Right?
Is that against the law?
So, I have to go to like 3 different inspection places because they keep telling me a little bit more of the information I need to know. So the first time it's like I only did the passenger and driver side window. Then they tell me, no, it has to be the whole car. I'm like, I don't understand this. I'm literally at this one place where people have recommended, hey, this place, all you have to do is like slip them $50-$60 and they'll pass your car. Oh, but if you have tint on their window, I'm telling you, 3 places I went to all just saw the car and went, nope, not inspecting it. Not at all. No chance. And then I literally see a guy get handed a couple hundreds, and then they slap a registration sticker on the car. Like the inspection sticker. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So I rip all the tint off. My passenger window has a lot of glue on it now. It kind of won't go up or down, but that's okay, because this is all for safety. Remember, tint means you're not safe. The sun being blinded in your eyes, that's safe. Anyways, all the tint's off, car's inspected, the car saga's finally done. I'm insured.
Yeah, that's just weird to me. Because in Texas, we're allowed 25% on the front side, and then anything in the back.
Well, even the Rhode Island law states 35% in the back for tint is allowed, but there's all these like sub-clauses in this. I'm like, this is so much effort just for like car tint.
The only window really Texas cares about is the windshield, but you can tint like 5 inches of that.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine not having tint. That sounds stupid.
Colin, do you know your province tint laws?
Not really.
Maybe you should look into it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, my Honda rear windows have a bit of tint, so maybe. But I don't know if that was added on or if it was just, it came that way. I don't know. I'll have to check.
Yeah, what's wild is, of all the times I've had this car inspected, registered, been in other states, pulled over by police cars everywhere at least once, never a problem. Never an issue. Okay.
Looking it up right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently there's a whole website called Canada Tint Laws.
I fucking lost my mind. Lost my mind through this whole ordeal.
So in Ontario, apparently, front windshield, no tint allowed.
Okay, that makes sense.
Front side windows, no tint allowed. Back side windows, any darkness. And rear windshield, any darkness. So that fits the bill for my car.
I wonder how new that is, because
last update.
When I registered my car in Ontario, no one batted an eye at the front and passenger window having tint. Very strange. And I know I had 5 inches of tint on the top of my original windshield, too. I know I had that, but that's a Texas thing.
Looks like based on EliteTint.Canada, you can have 30% in Ontario for the front.
So maybe they're like that 5% whatever.
Oh, I'm reading it again. It said front side windows, no tint recommended.
Oh, recommended.
It says,
fuck your recommendations.
It says tinting front side windows is not explicitly prohibited, but it can be a bit of a sticking point. It says, therefore, 70% VLT should be within legal limits.
Some 30% tint.
Yeah. Yeah, so mine was on the border. 35%, 5% over. Whoa, I'm a hardened criminal. Might as well deal hard Colombian cocaine. All right. So.
Crystal meth in while you're at it.
No.
Walter White should look you up.
No, I don't. No, that's too much chemistry. I hate chemistry. So I beat Stellar Blade. I talked about that. I have beaten Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. 70 plus hours.
Oh, nice.
It took me to beat it.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. It also in the same amount of time, I beat the original just playing it before bed on my Vita. That took 45 hours. Yeah, the whole original game took me almost half the time. Thereabouts. Look.
Oh boy.
Gotta say, Aerith's death did not hit as hard as the original game. They really played it off. I'm just going right into it. Oh, sorry. Did I spoil a game? Everyone knows what happens. So
I don't know. There was a chance that they were going to go a direction where she didn't die, but I don't know.
See, that's what I thought they were heading to, because they're so much leaning into this alternate universe, alternate timeline, but the worlds are still connected storyline, and super leaning into Cloud and his mental degradation. I get all that, but the story got kind of sloppy, and which always tends to happen with convoluted, time frame type stories, time leaps and that kind of stuff. And so I'm waiting for the epic kill scene and how they're going to build it up to it. And I got to say, it wasn't done that good in this remake. It wasn't done well. They didn't even really show it happening either. No blood on the ground that I remember, anyways. And then they kind of immediately blew it off going in a storyline where she's still kind of there, and Cloud can see her and talk to her and interact with her, because I guess now he's also connected to the alternate world. But here's the thing: the alternate world exploded. So, are there going to be more? What is this third game going to do? Are we going to be playing two different timelines at the same time, even more so than we're doing in this one? I'm a little worried for the third game and how it's going to, assuming it will come out, but how they're going to tackle the story part of it. As for the gameplay and everything, and a lot of the side stories, I didn't enjoy a lot of it. I think there's just way too much filler in there, and a lot of traversing these areas got very cumbersome at times, especially in the later regions. But obviously, I liked a hell lot of it because I played it 70 plus hours. I beat it. I even did multiple full-on side quest storylines between getting Gilgamesh, which is it's this interdimensional samurai dude. Required you to do XYZ. I did, so they called that the Proto Relic side story. I did, what was the other one? Anyways, there was a few. Game's a lot of fun. The story at the end didn't do it for me. I think they pussied out and didn't even go the full-on she's still alive part of it all, where perhaps she was saved in this frame, because here's the other thing. We still have the original game we could play. And even that scene way back then was more impactful with how it all went down and how it was set up. And I think this one was... I think they got afraid. That's how it came across to me. What do you remember of Final Fantasy VII, Joey? Did you ever play that?
Nothing. No, I don't play Final Fantasy games.
How about yourself, Colin? I know you played it.
Yeah, I I played it way later than it came out, but I still enjoyed it. Although I spoiled the entire story for myself by reading it online because at the time I wasn't confident I was ever going to get to play it. But everybody was talking about it, so I wanted to at least know what the story was. But I still enjoyed it when I played it.
Are you going to get and play Rebirth? Because you played Remake, right? Played part 1.
Yeah. And I got Rebirth when I was in Ohio. So it's on my shelf. I just don't know when I'm going to get to it. I'm still sinking so much time into Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. I got Rebirth, hard game too. I found it pretty difficult at times. Like, many fights were extremely challenging. So, like, when it comes to combat and how they set up a lot of the boss fights, very, very well done. I still love the kind of slow motion pause type menu that it has. That makes it feel like an RPG and still real time dynamic. That I wish they could continue on rather than kind of the straight action game that we got in 16. And I went straight into Final Fantasy 15. I picked up right where I left off. Obviously, completely forgot how the combat works. I went in swinging for the fences, like 16 and 7 Rebirth, and immediately died to like the easiest enemies. I'm like, I'm doing something wrong. I'm like trying to dodge roll and do all these things. Bad idea. I'm just getting clobbered. Have to look up a tutorial again. It's like, oh, I just hold down square. Ah, right. Forgot about that part.
Oh, boy.
I'm just trying to do various side missions, realizing that being broke in that game is a very bad idea. You definitely need money. Need to stock up on like 1 million potions kind of deal. The fighting is a lot more patient. Got to get used to that. And quickly realized as well that the story is very slow to progress. There's a lot of driving in the vehicle, Colin.
Oh, man.
I'm like, auto, drive on your way, go for it. And I pick up my phone as it plays music and they're rambling in the car. Bros will be bros, I guess. So that's that's what I've jumped into. I've reached let's see, where am I? I got Ramu, the first Guardian Force. I'm like 13 hours into the game, I guess, playing wise. Just trying to get money. Not much else to report. I guess, like, the Imperial soldiers killed a kid, but they didn't really make that clear until he finally just straight out said, yeah, he died. I'm like, oh. Oh, okay. What you been playing, Joey? Lots of Nintendo Switch?
I finished Stick of Truth. Of course. I love the Nintendo Switch. I finished Stick of Truth, and then I finished Fractured But Whole. I think Stick of Truth was a better game.
I would agree with that.
And then I started playing Zao. It's the Tales of Kinzera Zao, which seems pretty fun. So I'll try to beat that. And that's pretty much all I've been playing.
I'm going to look this game up because I have never heard of it. As
it's about
53% on Switch. Obviously, you're playing that version, right?
Of course. The combat is kind of clunky, but the platforming and whatnot, it's fun. And it's an interesting story.
2.5D Metroidvania game that, it just came out a number of months ago.
Yeah, it's on a PlayStation Network. It's about a kid dealing with the death of his father, and his father left him a book, and he's reading the book, and the game's kind of that book, where he's going around with the god of death, trying to get the souls of 3 great spirits to cross over. They're not crossing over and causing havoc, so it's a story about dealing with death. So it's pretty interesting.
2.5D Metroidvania game. All right. So a little platform action. Action platformer.
Yeah.
Okay. Kinzera. Cool. Want to tell us more. Colin, yourself?
Sorry?
Colin, what games have you been playing?
Mostly, like I said, Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, finished the Zora dungeon. Now there's just the Gerudo dungeon left. If I can tear myself away from the side quests for long enough. I did get the Master Sword. Finally found all the geoglyphs and saw the past story bits in order to get that. So that was pretty interesting. And I also picked Children of Morta back up here and there. Just like every so often I'll play a level, and it's still pretty fun. I mean, for those who don't know, it's like a top-down roguelike dungeon crawler with a plot. But it's got amazing pixel art, and the animations are really good. The only problem is it's still a bit buggy. Like, the load times are really long and tends to kind of get a little choppy here and there. But aside from that, I'm still interested. I mean, I've reached a point in the story where they find out the only sure way to stave off the corruption, which is the big scourge of the land, is to sacrifice their soon-to-be-born child. But much like Final Fantasy X, that's only a temporary measure. So obviously they're going to go in a different way in the future and do something more permanent, but we'll see.
Alrighty.
And then I did an escape room on a boat last night.
Oh, did you escape? Are you okay?
Nope, I've been locked in the brig for the past 24 hours.
Awful kind of them to...
I'm amazed I'm able to talk to you now.
Yeah, awful kind of them to let you have a microphone and laptop.
I know, right? It's like the Dread Pirate Roberts. Good night. Sleep well. I'll most likely kill you in the morning, and then doesn't do it. In fact, he's giving me all the
most
comforts
likely.
of
He didn't
life.
say it was guaranteed.
What? Yeah, you cut off.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it was pirate themed. It was all about solving all kinds of puzzles to be able to figure out what to put into the combination locks to a treasure chest, and then once that's open, you still gotta solve some puzzles. And then find Pirates of the Caribbean medallion. There were 3 different teams on the boat, and we came in second. But still a fun time to be had by all. Next up is the Casa Loma escape room.
Oh, hold on. I got a message here. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. That was a work call. I might have to go into work today to fix some things. Always a fun call to get. You guys still hear me?
Well, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah. Did you know that if you have a second shift that you're in charge of and they don't show up to work, apparently you just can't fire these people?
What?
Look, I don't make the rules. You know, back in our day, Joe and Colin, our generation, when we'd get a job, we'd show up to work, That's number one. Number two is you'd show up on time, and then you'd do the job you're asked. I know. It's crazy. And you also wouldn't break things and then claim it wasn't you, even though we catch you on camera. I'm sure that wasn't a thing. So, things happen. I understand. This current generation, they want to get paid, get a lot of money, but don't want to work. I think I get it now.
Sounds like the typical Gen Z complaints. They're so fixated on a work-life balance that they don't care about showing up on time.
I mean, it's been a pretty incredible experience the first time I was in charge of people, like a team, was when I was working offshore in the oil industry. And the key thing about that out there is you're stuck out there. Like, you know where they sleep and you can go get them, right? Here on land, I have a team of about 9 people underneath me, and it should be about 11. Like, that's the team size that's underneath me. But it's been I can't say humbling, because it's certainly not the right word to use, but it's been quite the experience with people and hearing excuses, and it's almost like everyone's got a list that they just go through. And now I'm just joking about it. It's like, okay, your grandmother is old and she's always sick. She never dies, but she's always sick. And you have to go to the hospital to pick her up. So you can use that for literal years and no one would question it, right? The next one's car trouble, which I never buy. Stuck in traffic. That's a popular one. And here's the thing, Joey. Colin, Toronto, same deal. We three all experienced traffic going to work in some capacity that could literally take hours, right? What do? You prepare, right? You know it's going to take you an hour and 45 minutes because, I-10 is blocked off on fucking 12 of its 20 roads, right? So you show up to work 3 hours late, people start going, where the fuck are you? You can't just say traffic, because you're going to be stuck in there for at least half that time. So you have to get up and go early to get to work on time. Oh, I know, crazy thoughts. So there's those excuses that Rhode Island, the longest I've ever been in traffic has been 45 minutes when it's down to one lane on a beach holiday. That's how long it took max. That's the longest I've ever experienced traffic in the state of Rhode Island. Now, bear in mind, very small state, but still, you get the idea. So that doesn't fly with me. The other crazy thing is, you're asking me too much to do. Am I? I'm doing, the first shift's doing twice as much work, and you can't do it on the off shift? I'm not buying it. I could go on and on and on. I've been trying to fire these two guys for well over a month, and they just no one gives a shit. So why would they? They have the power. It's quite again, just like with the DMV and registration story, I could go on for just hours about this. Love it. My favorite one was I literally heard a guy saying he's not going to show up to work the next day because he's got another job he's going to go to that pays him more for that one day. And I heard him say this. I'm literally right there. And then he quote unquote calls in sick the next day. And I'm like,
what?
Yeah, and I'm like, don't come back. And he's still working there.
Oh boy.
It's wild. If any of us three tried to pull this, well, maybe I work at the same place, but no, I have actual responsibility. If any of us three try to pull any of this shit, we'd be done, right?
Yeah. Of course, I tend to work jobs where there's zero tolerance for that kind of thing.
Joey, if you just decide, if you had to work on July 5th and you go to your boss and say, yeah, but I don't want to, Is he just going to go, okay, maybe?
Yeah. My current job, yeah.
But you have the power to, like, suggest that, and then he'd be like, okay, well, you won't get paid, or you have to use a vacation day, right?
Yeah, that's what I do anyway. It's like, I'm taking off this Friday.
Okay.
Like, okay.
Right. So you have to, like, go through the channels. You can't just go, I don't want to, but also pay me for the holiday the previous day. Like, I'm talking, these are, like, low totem pole guys, too. It's pretty incredible.
That's actually funny. At my job, if there's like a holiday on the weekend, if you don't show up on the Friday, then you don't get paid for the holiday.
Correct. My job's the same way. At least it should be. They still got paid for the previous day.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. And so this past Friday, guy goes, I need hours to make up. And I really wanted to tell him, well, if you'd show up to work, you wouldn't have to do that. But yes, we're working Friday. We're out of here at noon. So if you want to work, show up at noon. And I'm not talking 12:10. We're out of here. If you don't show up at noon, by noon on the floor, you're not working. I get a call at 2 in the afternoon on Friday saying, why is everyone gone? I need to work. I'm like, too fucking bad, bro.
Jesus Christ.
Like, what part of noon didn't you understand? Well, I'm about noon. You're 2 hours late. Fuck off. God.
Shit.
All right, fun times. Hey, it kind of works with the theme. Fly and fight. I'm going to play the drop. Here we go. Okay. Fly and flight. 37 minutes into this bitch. And that's probably for the best, because I picked short, little co-op type games just to keep it simple and easy. That was the idea. It's just I wanted to hurt people. It was a little multiplayer action, kind of made me reminisce over times long gone, and especially considering modern gaming, where it's simply just everyone plays online and that's it. But this is all I was looking for. Just something simple that we can bullshit around with for like 5 minutes and then move on to the next few casts where, well, I guess, Colin, your next topic isn't too far different from this one.
Yeah, more or less. Although I didn't pick it for that specific reason. I just had a specific game in mind, and then that inspired the theme.
Yeah. So the first game is Balloon Fight on the Nintendo Entertainment System. HAL Laboratory. Came out in winter 1985, more or less. 1 to 2 player game. Essentially, you are like birds with balloons on them, and the objective is to pop those fucking balloons and make them feel pain and misery. And then you can move on to the next stage.
Yeah, you tear up their parachutes too, and then let them get eaten by sharks.
Yeah, cool little bonus parts to a lot of that. Yeah, I guess including the next game, I think a big thing is because we're essentially on wacky birds flying through the air and you have to constantly tap a button. What'd you guys think of the controls between the two games?
And they're basically the same. Just like one button for jumping and flapping your wings and the D-pad, and that's it. So nice and simple. Very arcadey.
Yeah, they felt the same. Although the balloons, you got higher faster.
Yeah. It's more floaty.
Yeah, and I certainly liked the float aspect more. That was a good kind of additive to the same concept, considering the second game we played. It was much easier to kind of take flight That's for sure. And I think the float aspect gave you certain gravitational control over trying to dip and dodge your enemies, if you will. I did like the various platforms that you could possibly go to, and you kind of wanted to stay in flight as long as possible and not try to kind of run into things that you didn't want to. I thought it was a good control scheme with good manipulation that if I had this much earlier as a kid, this would have been certainly a top kind of fun game right up there with Blades of Steel to constantly just put on and play with a friend.
Yeah, for sure. Good way to kill half an hour.
Yeah, especially in the hot 103 plus degree weather in Houston, Texas. Didn't want to go outside anyways, too hot. Stay in the AC. Right, Joey?
Right.
Right. Got anything to add, guys?
Balloons go pop.
Okay. Did you win? Did you win at least one game?
I guess. I won 2 rounds. Is that a game?
Yeah.
I didn't play long enough to... Yeah, so I won twice. I mean, the game's easy.
Yeah. Although it took me way too long to realize I could just hold the buttons instead of tapping them over and over. But I found the animations to be quite detailed for the time.
Yeah, you pop them, they go down, the bug eyes, the whole deal, the freaking out.
Plus, it's not just 2 frames for the animation.
Yeah, I was kind of impressed with a lot of that. There's a lot of these kinds of arcade fighting games from this era that, I mean, one of my favorite is the Paracel Stars on the TurboGrafx. I do very much love that game, very much in the same vein. What's the one with the dragons and the bubbles? Is that Bubble Bobble? No. Yes?
Maybe.
Think so?
I don't know.
Sounds right. That's a more co-op with bubbles and you're destroying enemies. I know we've played it before on the cast, but this was much more kind of 1v1 situations rather than working as a team. Look, I thought it was a fun game. I thought the controls were easy. It'd be good multiplayer experience. What I came away with.
What was you guys' high score?
Oh, I didn't keep track.
Yeah, I didn't keep track either.
Damn it. We should do that. We should do that with more games like this. Try to rack up a high score and see what we got.
I got 72,600 myself.
I do have I think I have a sheet where I've kept various high scores. Hold on. No, this game's not on it. Oh, it is Bubble Bobble. That is the game name. Okay. No, I have a Galaga, Galaxian. I have those kind of Tetris. I have those kind of games with high scores. Not this one. Next time. Reminder. I pass this game.
Yeah, I pass it.
I pass this one.
Yay. A rare W for me. Okay, the second game, we're going back a little further. It is Joust on the Atari 2600. Also came out on the 5200, which we pulled up an old commercial from the 80s of Joust, and what an acid trip that is. Whew. But before we get into that commercial...
Yeah, Atari commercials from the time Atari commercials for the time were pretty crazy. I mean, just look at Pole Position.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know exactly the commercial you're talking about, too. So, this is another kind of fighting game. You can rack up a high score, 2 players simultaneously. Joust was developed by Williams Electronics and Atari. Came out in the summer of 1982. And when it came to the other countries... 6 months later, hit Europe, and then didn't come out in Japan until 84, so it took a lot longer. It's kind of the opposite of like an RPG going from Japan to America. But you are a knight with a lance mounted on an ostrich for player 1, and it's actually a stork for player 2. And there's buzzards around the screen, so more asshole birds that we got to deal with trying to make your enemies feel wrath and pain. Yeah, it's just look, it's an Atari. There's not like different levels, but there's a degree of different platforms going around. You got to flap the bird's wings by hitting the button, and then go in and you're trying to essentially lance them, much like a jouster would. And then each defeated enemy turns into an egg that the player can pick up for points. Look, let's talk about this commercial now. Did you get all that in the commercial?
Nope.
No.
I play this game, my house gets destroyed.
If I eat an egg, I become a bird.
That is true. He did not get more points, he just physically became a bird. Yeah, it's very acid trippy. So the commercial from the 80s is pretty wacky because he puts on Joust, and then all of a sudden knights and ostriches start busting through his floor and through his wall, and they're fighting each other in his living room, destroying everything, and he's just like, yeah! Oh no! Yeah! One guy wins, busts through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man, and leaves an egg behind. He eats it and then becomes a bird himself. Naturally, there's like sunglasses, Richard Simmons hair. Rest in peace. Yeah, stupid 80s. Like, kind of fun. And, yeah, Joey, what'd you think? Better or worse than Balloon Fight? Or about the same?
Worse.
Okay, why is it worse?
I couldn't tell why I killed the enemy or the enemy killed me. It just felt like it was random.
Yeah, you kind of want more. So that was the difference.
You gotta be slightly above them.
Yeah, that was certainly the difference between Joust and Balloon Fight. Was with Balloon Fight, you knew that you were going to have the advantage on the offense and ultimately hit the other person as you intend. While Joust, like Colin said, you have to be slightly above them. If you're just kind of even, then you just kind of bounce back and forth as like the jousts are just kind of running into each other.
Yeah. You would think you would have advantage by getting him from behind, but no. These jousters are apparently amazing.
Yeah, well, the butt of the joust is protecting the butt. You should have known that, Joey. You need to know your joust. Yeah, but yeah, I do agree. I think if you got an enemy from behind, it's game. It should be game over. That was a big complaint I had too.
Yeah. Does have a bit more of a frantic pace than Balloon Fight.
Oh, it was so much faster.
Which I kind of like. Yeah, I mean, you're riding on ostriches, so.
And storks.
Going super fast.
I think this game could come out again in today's world with more levels. Well, all right, let me look at Joust 2. Because I think, like, you could...
Yeah, I mean,
you could incorporate a bunch of different birds, like a flamingo and shit. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Or a cassowary.
Oh, Joust 2 looks pretty sick, but it only came out on arcade.
Yeah.
Ooh, Joust 2 has a transformation ability that you can transform your bird into a Pegasus. Cool.
I guess that's where Eiichiro Oda got the idea.
Yeah. Well, anyways. It's an Atari game. I think it's good. I think it's good to have in your collection. I think it's a good little multiplayer thing, much like Balloon Fight. Look, I pass Joust.
How much is it?
Ooh, good question. Good question. Let's look this up. Yeah, because that
cheap,
is.
I'll pass it. If it's not, I fail it.
All right.
I do remember actually playing this one before on the retro arcade section of shockwave.com back when that was a thing.
Yeah, I think that's where I played it because I remember this game, but I never owned it. So I think that might be where I played it.
Yeah, I mean, technically Shockwave is still around, but it's definitely not what it used to be.
It looks like you can get Joust anywhere from $5 to $15. And then they actually have a mini arcade that you can buy for like $20. One of those tiny.
So I'm going to soft pass it.
Yeah, I'll give it a pass.
Yeah, I think that's a good fair.
And my high score was 17,000 on this one.
17,000? That would be more than the guy who posted the wiki picture. That's 15,950. Well, all right. So our two games were Joust and Balloon Fight. Joey, favorite, least favorite, and your tiers, please.
Balloon is my favorite. I'm going to just give them both C's.
Okay. Colin, how about yourself?
I think I like Balloon Fight better. And I give that a B and Joust a C.
And I am the same as Joey. Balloon Fight a little better. Came out later, of course. Both C's. I think they're... Can't call them bang average by any means, but good multiplayer experiences. I think they're good. So, not bad, not great, not game-changing in any ways, but they're fun. Fun and simple. All right.
Yeah.
So, Colin, you got the next theme pick for the two games. What is it?
It is Hey Taxi! Games where you are driving as a taxi driver in some form or fashion. Although that's debatable on one of the games. But that should be fun.
Okay. That does it for this episode. See you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Bye now.